G'day everyone, thanks for stopping by. Today's video is part of the series of the compressor install into the back of the Pajero. Now the reason I'm doing this as a separate video is Roy has asked me just to give him some detail on how to set up the remote control to run the compressor. And basically that's what this video is going to be. I'll show you how to wire up a remote control relay, which you can pick up off eBay, nice and cheap. We'll put that link in the description. And it's going to show you how to power a large relay, which in turn is going to power the compressor. Now the process is fairly simple if you know how to work with 12 volt and you know how relays work, but we'll cover it all off. There'll be some diagrams, etc. of how we've got it set up, and we'll actually show you it in use. Press the button and off. So Roy, this one's for you. Hopefully it's helpful, and if you've got any questions, mate, just shoot it through in a comment. The reason I've broken this out of the main series of videos in relation to the compressor install is because I think this might be handy for somebody who's looking to do something similar but isn't necessarily interested in the compressor install videos and doesn't want to sit through sort of half-hour videos and like that. So this one's going to be straight to the point. I'm going to show you how to wire up the compressor and put it on a remote, which realistically you can use for any of your other projects or anything else that you want to put on a remote control. Now to get this to work with our remote control, what we need to do is put our 70 amp relay, or a relay that's big enough to carry the current that your compressor is going to require. 40 might be enough. If you've got one of those King twin thumpers, I think there's something like 100 amp draw. So check what your compressor is going to draw, what its maximum current draw is. Mine is around about 40, so 70 is more than enough. It doesn't hurt to go oversize on your relay. So this is a 70, I need around about a 40, so it's almost double, so that's got plenty of headroom. What we're going to do is run the battery or our feed point. So in my case, the feed point is going to be that little junction box that's over the back. So that'll feed into number 87, and then I think it's 85. Sorry, I haven't got my glasses out, but basically you can see with the larger current relays, you're going to see that you've got thicker spades for the higher current inputs and outputs, and then you'll see you've got just the normal little ones that's going to be used for our switching circuit. So that's going to go to our remote control. So our feed from our, which is effectively coming from our main battery through that little junction box, is going to go into here, and then out the other side, which is this part here, which is going to go into our Anderson plug. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just, because I don't have spades that big, what I'm going to do is just solder directly to these connections. So we're going to have a real good connection, and then we're going to cover it up with heat shrink. So that's just what we're doing now. The heat shrink that I'm using in this instance is the double walled stuff, which has the adhesive in it as well. Keep in mind that this shrinks to 1/4 the size what it already is. So that might look like it's going to be a little bit big for that job, but it's actually going to shrink 4 times. Where your normal shrink wrap, which is just a single wall stuff, will only shrink half the size, so 2 times. So we're well and truly covered with this shrink wrap. It's just a thicker shrink wrap, so it gives a better protection there as well. Now what I'm going to do is just basically split the difference in that wire, or in that cable. Shrink wrap on there first. Slide that well and truly up the cable, because once you apply heat from that soldering iron, that sometimes shrink your shrink wrap, and I've had that before. I'm just going to drop that either side of that spade connection, and then we'll solder that on. This is a dual temp or a dual power soldering iron. We'll actually do 60 watts and 30 watts, and the 60 watts is really handy for doing the large gauge stuff like this. This is just from Bunnings. I think this cost me about $30, $40, maybe $45. But yeah, real handy for doing the heavier gauge stuff, to be able to bump it up to that 60 watts. Unfortunately, I just had it on 30, so that's why I realised and thought it was worth a mention. So that's us soldered well and truly to that pin. So we'll just grab our shrink wrap and slide that down. And that's going to offer a little bit of mechanical strength as well. And that's obviously going to provide protection, and as well as providing electrical protection there as well. Now if you follow the channel, you may have already seen this, but I did a little review on these little gas canister blowtorch type things. Now normally I would have to go to do shrink wrap, I'd have to go down and dig in the back corner of the shed, because I do have a heat gun down there, but this thing is bloody ripper. So it's just so much easier for just sorting out shrink wrap, providing you don't burn your wire. And you can get really localised heat Get it all in the right spot. Turn it off. There we go. And that is our connection, so it's nice and protected. You might be able to see the hot glue that's come out of there. So that does a real good job of sealing that. So what we need to do now is put another wire on here, which is going to go to our feed, which basically is our battery from the front, but in our case it's going from the battery to the junction box and it's going to go in here. So I just need to put a disengaged wire on that. Conveniently, here is one I prepared earlier. Loving this thing. So good, so much easier, feeding good. Okay, so that's going to go to our junction. This one is going to be the one we're going to solder to the feed point, or the 87 of our relay. Now with your relays, it doesn't matter whether it's your 87 or your 30 that actually goes to the battery and which one goes to whatever it is you're trying to power. Ultimately, once that circuit gets energized or that switch gets turned on, it's just going to connect that circuit and close it. It's just going to close that circuit, which means it's going to provide power. Doesn't matter which way it's going. Now, it's our feed from our front that's going into 87. On the opposite side of the relay is our 30. Now that is going to our Anderson plug, which is effectively going to our compressor. Now what we're going to do with those other two is we're going to have, one side is going to go to ground, 85 is going to go to ground, and our 86 is going to come from our remote control power. So once we switch on our remote control and that little relay inside clicks, it's going to turn on this relay and that's going to power our compressor. Now while we're here, we're just going to fit a ground wire on this as well. Our switching circuit doesn't need to have large gauge wire, it's only going to be running very low current, and that's the whole purpose of a relay, is that you don't have to be running large current wire from one place to another to switch it on and off. You can just run your small gauge wire, say through a firewall or something like that, and you can keep all the heavy gauge stuff out in the engine bay or somewhere safe. So we just need to add a little ground to this, just for the switching circuit. So the ground doesn't need to match the gauge of the wire they're actually using to power whatever it is you're powering. So we're just going to put our earth on 86, or our ground, whatever you want to call it. Just drop a little bit of solder on it and just wrap it around this pin here. Now I'm in the process of wiring up the little remote control. Now this is the eBay. This is the part that's going to allow us to use the remote, which will allow us to switch the little relay on here, which will in turn charge or switch on the large relay, and that's going to power our compressor. I'm hoping this is all making sense here, so follow along. Now in front of this, what we're going to do is have a switch. So the power that's going to be coming to here is going to be going to the switch over on that panel over the back. So we'll switch that on. That'll power this. We'll hit the remote. That'll turn on this relay, which will send power from this to the other relay, which will then power the compressor. These are a little bit weird, and this one's a bit unusual as well. Put my glasses back on. Because what you need to do, in addition to supplying it with a ground, obviously, which you need to be able to, for the switching circuit, you supply it with a positive. Now why they don't just make that a common positive, I don't know, but you supply it with a positive, the same as going to the feed point, or your 80 or your 87 on your other relay. But then what you need to do is jumper that positive over to the other side, so the circuit is basically always energized. So what I could do effectively is have, you know, power coming from a small battery, auxiliary battery or something like that, going to the main line, which would be the power that would be switched on and off, and then I could supply this little circuit here with the switch. But what I'm going to do is just power it basically both from the switch. So we'll go a negative here, and then we're going to go a positive, and we're just going to jumper that, so that feeds both of it. So basically it's getting power and the switching from the one source basically. And then on the other end we just need to go with the ground and a positive out to our other relay. So we're going to need a little screwdriver. Luckily this one's small enough. We're just basically unscrewing and opening up those terminals. So what I've done is just made up a little bridging wire, I guess. We're just going to pretty much bend that in half, and that's going to go between our feed point basically and our trigger circuit. So, and I must admit, when I first got one of these things, confused the crap out of me. I wasn't really thinking it as a sort of a relay circuit, so I wasn't thinking that I needed to supply it with power as well. I thought it would have grabbed that itself, but anyway. So what we do here is on one side, this is our in, and then we've got our common, and then we've got our ground. So what we need to do is bridge the in and the common. So you can see that, switch that over, we need to bridge those two there. So in the end, what I've done is just strip that wire, so I've taken off the shielding off it, and I've dropped it. And I found it. But just before I put that other wire in, you can see that, that's what our little bridge looks like there. So I've just literally just bridged those two circuits, and then we'll run our power into either one of those, it's not going to matter. Just knock those up nice and tight, but not too tight. Obviously you don't want to bugger these, because the soldering on some of the Chinese stuff is never quite the greatest. So what you see is we've got our ground going in here, our feed going in here. Now this is going to be coming from our switch over the back of the Pajero, and then we just basically jumped those two there. So when this is provided power, it's going to provide power to allow it to switch the relay, and it's also going to be providing it power for the source or whatever it is, which is actually, you know, the relay itself, whatever that's passing out the other end. And realistically, that's probably the easiest way to wire them up. All we're going to do is just take the positive out of this, though we don't need the ground and all the other stuff. Okay, so what we're going to do, Roy, just for the purpose of simplifying this for you and anybody else who's following along, what I was going to do was place this little remote control relay up near the switch panel on the back right hand corner of the car, and then run these cables, or run the output from this across from one side to the other, where I would have the large relay. But what we're going to do, just for simplification and just to keep it all close together so I can show you how it all works, what we're going to do is run the wire from the switch, and we'll run that from one side to the other. So this and the other relay are going to be on the same side. This is going to become our feed wire, which is going to come from our little remote relay, and this is going to go to our large relay. This is going to go onto our 85. Feed that through there again. So basically what happens when this wire has power applied to it, this one that we're fitting now, when this has power applied to it, that's going to turn this relay on. So it's going to supply power to this, which is going to switch that circuit on, which is going to pass power through these big heavy gauge wires direct from our main battery at the front and straight to our compressor. And just to tidy it up, I'll just drop some heat shrink on there as well, so we'll just heat that up. And there we go, that's our completed product, so that's all done. I have seen some really big heat shrink that they put around, and which would be lovely just to do all that. So what we might do is just put a cable tie around those, just so that protects those thinner wires, gives them a little bit of mechanical strength so they don't, you know, get damaged there. I'll throw a little bit of tape around it as well. And so I've just made little loops in those wires just to take the pressure off that solder, off that little joint. Soldered onto the larger gauge wires. Again, just another layer of protection. This will be in behind that panel, but just you know, I don't want to have to pull this out again. And there we go, that's the finished product. Nice and neat, all the wires are well and truly protected, nice and solid. We're going to stick that in behind the panel. A little positive from our large relay is going to go into the out of the positive of our little remote control relay. Now, some of these, depending on how you wire them up, and I'm hoping I'm getting this one right because I haven't actually looked it up, some of these are latching and some of these are toggle. What that means is, depending on how you wire them up, as to whether you need to hold the button on to supply power, to have it turn something on, and just hold that on whenever that button is pressed, power is being supplied. Take your finger off the button power stops. Or there is latching, which is basically hit the button, turn it on, hit the button, turn it off. So, and I'm not sure whether this was one of those ones that has that functionality in it, latching or momentary, but there is a jumper in there as well. I'm not sure whether you can see that jumper pin. We may need to change that at some point, so we won't button all this up until we're done with it, until we've done some testing. Just going to drop in there like that. And that's how that's going to roll, just like that. So there's our board sticking out there. So there's our positive coming out, going to our large relay. Going in to our small remote control relay, we've got a negative and a positive. And we need to go and sort those out. Back at the Pajero, now what we might do is just test this before we start pulling everything apart, because the next thing I need to do is to pull that panel off. Now I really want to make sure that this is working before I go and pull that panel. So just going to roughly connect it up. I get some power to it, might take it from the auxiliary battery or the front battery, not sure yet. We'll just make sure it's working. I'm just going to connect it up just using our auxiliary battery for now, because I just want to obviously make sure this is all working before we start pulling all the other panels. Because I've had this thing for a couple of years, this little remote control. So it's never been tested, so I need to make sure I've actually got a good one. And we want to check whether it's latching or whether it's momentary as well. So what I'm doing, literally just connecting all of our positives and all of our negatives just straight to our auxiliary battery, just for the test. Alright, so there we go. So we do have it in latching, so if I press the button, and off. Beautiful. Alright, so we're all wired up correctly. That little remote control is working, so that's good news. So it's time to pull that back panel off and get this wiring finished. So that little circuit there of those relays is all working. Test positive. So that's it guys, that's the install of the remote control to power our compressor over the back of the Pajero. So the next video coming up is going to be the remainder of the install of the compressor over the back. We're playing around with some switch panels, installing an inverter and doing a whole bunch of other stuff, so stick around. Thanks very much for stopping by. We'll catch you on the next one.